here, some new faces, some returning faces. There's a lot of joy in this room right now, and I'm really grateful for it. At Genesis, we are a community that is dedicated to love, inspiring harmony, and creating connections to empower spiritual growth. And we love that you are here to share with us. My name is Karen Williams. I'm a practitioner here at Genesis Center for Spiritual Living, and it is a pleasure to be your host for this morning. I'd also like to let you know that we have an online host. Our online host this morning is Cal Boyle. So if you are on our Facebook page or if you are on YouTube, please chime in, say hi to Cal, let him know where you're at and what it is that you're doing. We want to know that you're with us. We are currently in the process of bringing in a new minister here at Genesis. And so in support of this process, we every Sunday read our new minister Sacred Covenant Easy Prayer. So if you would join me in reading that together. I recognize there is one life. This life is God's life. This life is my life now. I am one with this life and all its blessed expressions, which includes the presence of a new minister for Genesis Center for Spiritual Living as a revelation of God as love. As Ernest Holmes says, I dwell in the house of love. Love attends me in my home of the soul, and I shall never leave this home of the spirit. I shall abide in this home forevermore. Feeling into this love, I experience my new minister with full cooperation and agreement with my community, knowing these powerful truths for myself. I am powerfully expressing divine love, inspiring all to do the same. I am blessing and honoring all paths of spirituality, awakening deeper truths and spiritual growth. I am a place where God shows up, expressing divine love and allowing truth and joy to heal all. I am embracing, teaching, and exploring spiritual truths from diverse spiritual teachings. I am teaching and embodying prosperity, trusting that God is the source of my good. I now accept this highest expression of spirit as myself, and I know this expression is now being revealed as the new minister that serves the highest and greatest good for Genesis. I am grateful, and we are grateful, and so it is. Thank you. Our announcements this morning are brief, but most importantly, we are accepting applications for new board members. So if you are interested in serving on the leadership of Genesis, please find a link to our website. Our website is genesiscsl.org. Okay. And you can also email, it's not on here, but I'm looking for shaking heads. It's really good. But this is a relationship I have with you all. I trust you. You're trusting me to stand up here and lead you, but I'm trusting you to come with me and help me. It looks like, do we have a deadline? Is the deadline today?
For today, and we have applications printed.
Oh, good. Applications are also here. If you don't want to go through the rigmarole, you don't have a printer, blah, 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 you don't have the things. It's right here. You can fill that out and give that to Gideon today, or you can go through the rigmarole and do the things and print it out and just email it then to info@genesiscsl.org. I am facilitating a daily reading of the Science of Mind textbook. We are well into it. It is on my Facebook page, Karen L. Williams, RSCP. I also then share it to Genesis family with a little tidbit to inspire you to go deeper into the reading.
Thank you.
You are welcome. I love doing it. I've never read the whole entire text. I'm a practitioner almost 20 years. So this has been brilliant for me as well. So I'm glad to hear that it is for you. Thank you. Every Wednesday night, we offer an intention circle that is facilitated by myself and Cynthia Zink. We are practitioners here. And this intention circle is via Zoom from 7 to 8 every Wednesday. And so I wish I had my text with me because they were talking today in Physical Perfection about intention, staying with the intention, and then that is how creation happens. So we're setting intentions because we want something good to happen in our lives. And we want that for you as well, so please join us. Now is the time, gosh, after announcements, we get into the good stuff. And the good stuff is greeting each other. So please stand up and take a minute to greet each other. Say hi, meet people. Hi, I'm Vicky. Vicky, I'm Ann. Hi, Ann. I'm Charles. Charles, I'm Ann. Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Eric.
Eric. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Vicky. It's been a little while. I'm kind of new, but this is the first time here. I got in Monday. And so this is the first time to this site. How long have you been here?
Oh, it's been a while.
Yeah, I left before Christmas.
A minute ago, yeah.
So I first time in this building. I didn't know if I was going to stay down
our seats after something like that. Love abounds at Genesis. If anyone brought a guest or is attending for the first time, we'd love to meet you and learn about how you heard about Genesis, if that's comfortable for you. If you could just stand up. Anybody want to say hi?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Chris Feldman, who often sings for you, invited me to come sing for this.
Jennifer.
Chris
Say hi,
Feldman's in the
Jennifer.
house.
Hi, Jennifer.
Chris Sullivan's son here.
Hi, I'm Sebastian.
Oh, Jennifer.
I'm just kind of looking around. Okay.
Awesome.
Welcome. Welcome. Tell me your name again.
Sebastian.
Thanks, Sebastian. I'm getting the names. Anybody else want to stand up and say hi? Introduce yourselves. Okay. Cal, anybody online?
No, it's just me.
Please. Oh, good. Hi, Susan. Oh, love Susan. Does anybody need a prayer card or an envelope? This is the time to just take care of that little detail. I also want to take this time to thank our volunteers. First, I'm going to start over here on my right. This is Jim, who's doing our sound and our setup. Say hi to Jim.
Hi, Jim.
Hi, Jim.
Good morning. Hello.
Michael Johns is in the very back. He is running the camera and the projector here. Say hi to Mike. And as I said, Cal is our online host.
Hi, Cal.
People, please, online, say hi to Cal.
Don't leave him alone.
Leave him hanging. We're so grateful for the volunteers that show up every Sunday. Those of you who come in the morning and set up, and those of you who take down when we are done, you are a treasure, and you make this, what we do, happen, and you are appreciated. If you want to be a part of that particular tribe that makes that particular impact at Genesis, there's a sign-up sheet over here. You'll see it on the front desk. All right, it's time for our centering song. So let's stand up again and sing Out Beyond. And thank you, Eric, for this great song. Practitioner of the day who will anchor us into our service, create that opening space. Randy Singer is our practitioner today. He is also available for prayer after service. So if you're interested in having any kind of support, please look for Randy after service. Please welcome Randy.
Okay, we'll figure it out. As said before, my name is Randy Singer. I've been a practitioner here for over 10 years, I guess. Time flies, and it's good.
Yes.
All right, so today I will be reading from Living the Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. And it is page 220 if you're following along. Disease is not first cause, because disease is the opposite of ease. Let's see. The basis for correct spiritual treatment starts with the idea that being is already perfect. The idea of perfection is the spiritual power which heals. From the standpoint of pure spirit, an unknown or hidden false cause would be just as unreal as a known or revealed one. Therefore, we must know that disease is neither cause, medium, nor effect. From the standpoint of pure spirit, wrong action had no beginning. It has no duration, and it will have no climax. The treatment we give is an activity of the law enforcing this truth. Your use of the law, being on a higher plane of consciousness than the state of thought which produced the disease, discord, or anything else, must therefore erase it, and you must know that it will do so. You know that mind, spirit is pure, perfect, and complete, manifesting itself in physical form in and throughout all nature. The government of good is enforced through the law of man's own divinity. Power exists, and the action of this power is upon your word, and your word acts upon the power. No one knows which. For all practical intents and purposes, the power acts upon your word. And we have that power to use our word. So let's take this moment in prayer, knowing that today, right here and right now, is that perfect moment, that perfect action that Spirit has created, right? And all that is available is as and through God is available right here and right now. And as it is all things, it is each of us, and we are that highest expression of good in this moment here in Genesis, in person, online, and just connecting to all the world, all the universe, and all the space in between, and it is good. And so gratefully I say, thank you, God, and so it is. And so now, we have the wonderful music of Jennifer Bolles and Jal Feldman.
May you never choice to sit it out or dance. Dance, I hope you dance. Why don't you dance? I hope you dance. I hope you dance. Come on and dance. I hope you dance.
That was great. Thank you for that. So this month, this is going to be a real Science of Mind classic material month because we want to remember that great saying, change your consciousness, change your life. Right? And so, change your consciousness, change your life. That's the great idea. And subheading, you can't believe everything you think. Right? And what it occurs to me before I get into the material, I just want to say, you know, we come here, we're given intelligence, we're exposed to certain things, we're exposed to certain ideas and options and choices and so forth. And some of them are true, and some of them are true for some people, but not for me, or not for you, right? They're true for some people, but they're not true for you. And so we get it, like they say, the first 7 years of our life, we spend in a state of hypnosis. And children are just like sponges, and they're just absorbing all kinds of data because to be on the physical plane is kind of an intense thing. Yeah. And you know, what is that? What is that? And it takes a while to figure out what that is, right? And how it works and what it can do and all that, right? So for the first 7 years, we just are absorbed and we get a lot of ideas. And then we spend the rest of our lives sorting out what's true, what's not true, what can we use, what worked and no longer works, okay? So the material now that we're going to look at this month is perfectionism versus excellence, okay? So let me define, I'm going to start out by defining what do we mean by perfectionism versus excellence. And this is from the website Psych Central. People who strive for excellence can accept that mistakes are inevitable and value what they learn from them. They don't let mistakes define them. How many people here have ever made a mistake?
Oh, never.
Ever. About anything. Yeah, just Randy made a mistake once, but he has learned to forgive himself. And for the rest of us, many mistakes about many things. And the great analogy I love about this is, you know, an infant tries to stand up, falls over, and everybody goes, well, that's it. You'll never walk. That's not how it works. I think they said that studies show that a baby has to fall 50 times before it really figures out how to stand up. And that is, you know, something to think about. We love gravity, but gravity makes you fall over. I mean, it's good, except for when it's not. Okay? But perfectionists see mistakes as evidence of their inadequacy or inferiority. They expect themselves to know everything, to outperform everyone, to always know the right thing to do or say, to be above reproach, to never let anyone down. That is not only unrealistic, it's a very heavy burden to carry. And this is so bizarre because the person who has come to my mind in this moment is Vladimir Putin. And this statement has given me an opportunity to have compassion for someone I have been in a lot of judgment about. Anybody else been judging Putin lately? And I read recently there's a guy who had been on his security detail who defected to the West and talked about what Putin's life is like. And what I hear is that he is absolutely deathly afraid of assassination. That he lives in the terror of being assassinated. that he sets up all kinds of systems to fool people into thinking he's one place when he's actually somewhere else. If he's going to make a public statement or something, he says, well, I'm going to make it at this dacha over here, when in fact he has a room exactly decorated like that somewhere else, and he does it there in case they try to assassinate him here. And I think that he's probably a person, because he lives in such a state of mind that everything that I say is true, and everything that I believe is true, and everything that I do is the right thing. And they say no one can tell him anything other than that. And that is he is trapped in a perfectionist world. And it's kind of tragic. And I need to hear that because I need every bit of help I can to be in a state of forgiveness towards Vladimir Putin. And I get an amen.
Amen.
Okay. The primary difference between excellence and perfectionism is the way making mistakes or having flaws is viewed. As perfectionists, we tend to overgeneralize mistakes and shortcomings. This is what falls under the heading of don't believe everything you think. We take one mistake and use it to define ourselves as complete failures or tragically inferior. It's that all or nothing thinking. It's black or white thinking, right? This thinking error keeps perfectionists stuck on the negatives and unable to see the potentially positive aspects of mistakes and imperfections, when in reality there are many benefits to embracing our imperfections and in learning from our missteps. Now, I hate to make mistakes. Okay? Yeah? Who loves to make mistakes? Who loves to trip on a banana peel? Right? Who loves to say something stupid? Right? What's that song, that Sinatra song? And then I go and spoil it all by saying something stupid. Right? That song. Right? So, mistakes are not, it's not like, oh, I fell flat on my face, so I did this really dumb thing. No. Making mistakes can be really painful. Don't you have some mistakes where when you remember that you made them inside yourself, you flinch?
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I said that. When we expect perfection, we're inevitably disappointed. Everyone makes mistakes, no matter how smart they are or how hard they work. Instead, we should strive for excellence. Excellence is striving high, but offering yourself grace for mistakes made and things you don't yet know. I am suddenly remembering this girl that I knew in high school, and she was a perfectionist. And when I went to high school, which was before computers and phones, and before when even people had typewriters in their houses, and all of your homework assignments were handwritten. And this girl, she would handwrite her essay for class. And if she got to the last line on the page and made a mistake, on a letter, she would redo the entire page. Now, if she was planning on becoming a professional calligrapher, then excellence would mean, yes, I'm happily going to redo this page, but she was not planning on becoming a calligrapher. When you expect yourself to do the impossible, you're constantly disappointed. You tear yourself down with harsh criticism that far exceeds your actual shortcomings or mistakes, and no matter what you accomplish, you never feel good enough. And we came here to live our best life. We came here to live a life of joy. I mean, people who came here to be martyrs did not come here to live a life of joy. But for those of us who came here to live a life of joy, perfectionism is in the way of that. So I want to make space for the people who came here to suffer, because that's a valuable path. And so perfectionism would suit you very well. So far be it from me to judge. But if you would like to have a life of joy, I'm going to keep talking. And a perfect little example of a way to apply the value of excellence versus perfectionism comes from the world of classical music. There's this wonderful man, and his name is Ben Zander. And he is a British conductor who currently runs the Boston Philharmonic and the Boston Philharmonic Youth Orchestra. And he is the co-author with his wife, Rachel, of a book called The Art of Possibility, and it's great. It's a great book to read, and it doesn't matter whether you're a musician or a classical musician, but he applies this philosophy of the art of possibility to that field. And he says, whenever you make a mistake, the most useful response is always, how interesting. And this is really pertinent to me because, as I keep saying every Sunday, I took up the cello, and I remember on Tuesday I had a lesson, and I made a mistake. I was playing an exercise for my teacher, and I went, I'm sorry. And every time I made a mistake, I would say, I'm sorry. And at a certain point I thought, I don't need to apologize to her. She does not judge me because I made a mistake. She has other students. They make mistakes. Often. But it's that thing of, I'm sorry. Instead of the energy of, because when I say I'm sorry, I realize I intend to play the exercise note perfectly. Okay? And if it's okay that I make mistakes on the way to achieving the goal of playing the thing note perfectly, then I'm not dissing myself and apologizing every time I made a mistake, right? And so when he says, the response is how interesting. So I'm playing this exercise, and I make a mistake, and then I realize all I have to do is as soon as I start this bar, look at the next bar and know it's coming. And once I applied that, I played it note perfectly. Okay? So all it is just figure it out. Just figure it out. You don't have to apologize for everything along the way. You don't know how to date well. You don't know how to kiss well. How many people have had to teach somebody else how to kiss?
Oh my God. What?
Some people just do not know what they are doing. Okay? If you don't know how to date well, if you don't know how to kiss well, if you don't know how to be in a relationship well, if you don't know how to paint a house well, if you don't know how to get rid of ants well, it's like this material life, there's a lot of stuff that you got to learn. And at 67, I'm realizing it just keeps happening. Now I have to learn this. Now I have to learn that. We get a fountain. How do you get the fountain to work? How to keep the fountain full? It's like one thing after another. Examples of perfectionist behavior include spending 30 minutes writing and rewriting a 2-sentence email. Believing that missing 2 points on a test is a sign of failure. Difficulty being happy for others who are successful. Holding oneself to the standard of others' accomplishments or comparing oneself unfavorably and unrealistically to others. Okay, so here's another example. Oh my God, you guys are going to get so sick of me talking about the cello. So I go online and I watch performances of people playing the cello, and there's people who just play it very, very well. And I can have two responses. I can either go, I started at age 65, I will never be that good in this lifetime, why am I bothering? Or I can go, look what is possible for me. Look what is possible for me. We went to see this movie recently called Chevalier, and it's about this real guy. This guy was mixed race in the 1700s, and his white plantation father brought him to Paris, and he turned out to be a genius in violin and fencing. And he was so great that he sort of leapt over all the prejudice against him as a man of color. And the soundtrack to this movie was unbelievable. I mean, the music was so great. And you know how it is, movie music, y'all know movie music. When they want to make you cry, they put a cello solo in there. It's either cello or oboe. And there was some great cello music in the soundtrack of this. It was really great. And I was like, I want to play that someday. Skipping class or avoiding a chore. This is another example of perfectionist behavior. Skipping class or avoiding a chore because it is pointless to make an effort unless perfection can be achieved. Perfectionism will keep you from even trying. Focusing on the end product rather than the process of learning. Believing it doesn't matter how you reach your goal or how much of a creep you are becoming on your relentless path to success because you desperately need to be perfect. Avoiding playing a game or trying a new activity for fear of showing up as less than perfect. So, our gospel document this month, and I'm going to send, where are you, Gideon? I'm going to send this to you so you can post it. is this document called Perfectionism versus Excellence. So we're going to post this on the Facebook thing.
Awesome.
And others who are speaking this month are taking this document. They're going to work with different pieces of it. So let me just run through it once for you. Perfectionism is needing to be right. Excellence is willing to be taught. Perfectionism is fear. Excellence is taking a risk. Perfectionism is anger and frustration. Excellence is power. Perfectionism is control. Excellence is spontaneity. Perfectionism is judgment. Excellence is acceptance. Perfectionism is taking. Excellence is giving. Perfectionism is doubt. Excellence is confidence. You know, if I make a mistake and I apologize, it's because I'm terrified that I will not be perfect. But if I own my humanity, I go, oh, lucky you, I made a mistake. You get to tell me what is right. You get, as a teacher, to correct me. I'm giving you something I'm giving you an opportunity to teach me, and I'm paying you for it. Perfectionism is doubt, excellence is confidence. I said that. Perfectionism is pressure, excellence is flow. Perfectionism is an end, and excellence is a journey. I want to give you an example of how this can play out, this business of perfectionism. One way we set ourselves up to feel disappointed is by creating artificial deadlines. Now, I just have to come out again in that I am not a fan of New Year's.
Yeah.
That is not a holiday I'm crazy about. And every time it comes around, I go, it's so made up. It's just made up. We have just decided this is the start of a new year. Now, on the plus side, it's great to say, it's a new year because every second is a new second and life is always starting new. So I'm not up in arms about New Year's.
Right.
I'm not trying to kill or end New Year's, and okay, so that's an example of an artificial deadline. New Year's Eve is an artificial deadline. Mazel tov. Okay. A company, so let's say there's a company and it sells 75,000 kitchen appliances one year and then decides to set the goal of selling 100,000 appliances next year. The whole team focuses on this goal, and as December rolls around, they've sold 90,000 appliances. New Year's Day arrives, and they've sold 96,000 appliances, and they don't celebrate, and they don't feel successful because they missed the goal by 4,000 units, even though they increased sales by almost 25%. Right. That is an example of this old artificial deadline determining how you feel about something, right? Now, there's nothing wrong with setting deadlines, and control and perfectionism says the only way you can succeed is if you beat that deadline, which you made up. It's a game you created the rules, and how are you going to work with it if you don't meet that deadline? You're going to keep going because life is moving on, and you made up this deadline, and okay, we're moving the goalpost. Here's a question about perfectionism. This is is this you? Are you mentally always looking over your shoulder? Is there some invisible judge from your past or from culture that is always there taking score or keeping watch over you? Is there someone who lives in your head without paying rent, who you are always trying to please, appease, or impress? Is there a parent, an old lover, a sibling, a former boss, someone famous you've never met who you idolize, perhaps? You have to be like them. And if you're not like them, then you're chopped liver. I personally don't think there's a problem with comparing yourself to others. We live in a world of contrasts, and comparison is one way we figure out what we like and what we don't like. The issue is how you frame the comparison. You can compare and despair, or you can compare and aspire. That's the thing. I'm listening to this cello music and I can go, I'll never be that. Or someday, might happen. When I hear someone play the, oh, I just did that. I don't need to limit myself in consciousness. I don't benefit by killing the dream before I've even gotten started. That's the thing. So comparison itself is not the problem. The only problem is comparing yourself to others if you are misusing consciousness to limit yourself, shut yourself down, and make yourself feel bad about yourself. I mean, seriously, why would you use this miraculous gift of consciousness to make yourself feel bad about yourself?
Yeah.
Everybody take a deep breath. Let it go. We all do it. We've all done it at some point. And now I absolve you. You don't have to do it anymore. You're welcome. Are you subjecting those around you to your perfectionist standards? Do you withhold love from children, parents, or spouses that they don't live up to your perfectionist standards? Like reading your mind. If they don't know how to kiss you the way you like it, then show them. Instead of deciding they're bad lovers. And that's just one example. I recently read Jeanette McCurdy's memoir, I'm Glad My Mom Died.
Yeah.
Her mother's monstrous, and I mean monstrous, stage mother behavior propelled Jeanette into success as a TV star, but her mother very carefully coached her into a near-fatal struggle with bulimia. People living with a crippling case of perfectionism wind up with behaviors like anorexia, bulimia, and a wide array of psychosomatic illnesses and OCD behaviors. So what is the spiritual truth about perfectionism? Divine love doesn't judge you as inadequate. Never has, never will. Divine love knows you, knows everything about you, knows every nook and cranny of you, knows every second of everything you ever did or said, knows everything that is going on with you, knows all your possible futures, and loves you exactly as you are. And when you are operating from divine consciousness, that is how you relate to yourself. And that is not to say you get a free pass and go out and kill people.
Right.
That's not what it means. But it means you get to fall down 50 times, and you will walk if you get up the 51st time. You are loved unconditionally no matter what you say or do. No matter how many times things don't turn out like you wanted them to. No matter what the opinion of the world is about you. Nobody likes you. God likes you. And God's vote is a majority vote.
Yeah.
No matter how long it takes you to achieve your goal. You're eternal. So what does it matter how long it takes? You're eternal. You will never die. You'll get there. Whatever your sins, and the word sin means mistake, whatever sins you've made, our God is a God of 10,000 chances. Not a second chance, but a 10,000 chance. And you have all of eternity to learn and grow and master this business of being human. So I want to end by talking about Charles Ludlam. Charles Ludlam was a New York theater artist in the 80s and 90s, and he wrote an essay called The 7 Levels of Theater. And he describes these different levels of theater, like the theater, the romantic theater. In the romantic theater, everything is beautiful, and the most important feature in an actor is beauty. And in the economic theater, everything is about the exchange of money, and the most important quality in an actor is selling tickets. Okay, so he's talking about these different, in the ideological theater, everything is about an idea, and the audience can hardly wait for the play to be done so that they go somewhere and argue about the ideas of the play. And the most important quality in an actor is conviction. Okay, so he's describing different elements of theater, and then he says the supreme theater. In the supreme theater, artists receive their applause gratefully because they have labored long to receive it. They love a total fiasco as much as a smashing success. They never reject one thing at the expense of another, and our true genius is spontaneity. Remember, excellence is spontaneity. They are like the Zen master archer whose arrow is always at the center of the target. They shoot the arrow first and then draw a circle around it. When I think about my years of having a theater company, and when you're in theater, of course you want everything to work out. You want the rehearsals to be wonderful. You want the cast to all get along. You want the director to be a genius. You want the sets to stand up and not fall down. You want the house to be full. You want to sell a lot of tickets. You want to be easily to pay everyone. You want your subscriber audience to be happy with the season and happy to renew, right? Of course, we all want that. You want good reviews. I know. I was at a theater company for 7 years. And now, all these years later, there are some things that happened that were real fiascos, and I find them very entertaining. I didn't always at the time. I mean, there was the time when we paid this playwright the full fee, and he just disappeared and gave us nothing.
Oh, no.
And I had to then talk to friends into writing another new show in 4 weeks for our subscription series. That was intense. So, or shows where you think, oh, this is going to be wonderful, and it was not wonderful. It just didn't work out. Or times I was on stage in a play, and the set had 3 areas. It was like a living room area, a boudoir area, and a kitchen area. And I have a long monologue at the beginning of the play, and I'm talking, and I turn around, and the stagehands had not put any of their furniture out for the kitchen area. There's nothing there. Oops. And I ran on stage. This was a 90-minute play, and I was on stage for 90 minutes, except for I go out to get a glass of water one point, and I go out and come back with a birthday cake. That's it. And I went out to get the glass of water, and the stage manager lying on a sofa, and I'm like, where's the furniture? And I had to ad-lib and bring out the furniture myself as part of the play.
Wow.
Now, at the moment, it's intense, but afterwards it's like, it's a pretty funny story. So let that be a possibility for you. Because have you noticed that material life is complicated? I mean, there's always something, right? There's always something. The faucet doesn't work, the cat gets leukemia, I go to visit my brother in Florida, and he and his wife allow me to drive their Mercedes sports car. Their very expensive Mercedes sports car. And it is really a joy to drive, except for the fact that it is very low to the ground. And first day I'm out in the car, and I go to park, and I do not see it, and it just drives right into the curb, and of course I'm going to pay for the repair, and $1,500 later.
Oops.
That's just life.
Yeah.
This is life. This is what we get. We really deserve to be patient with ourselves and with each other, to be kind towards ourselves, to be forgiving towards ourselves and towards others. We talked, Colette, in my reading last week, I talked about, we love an old soul. You love to see an old soul who is elegant, always says the right thing, and always does the right thing, and, is standing there and catches the baby when it falls down out of the second-story window, because it's just right there. People who can, like this Chevalier back in the 1700s, who was a brilliant violinist and composer and duelist, and all of that stuff. We love people who are really accomplished like that. They don't get that way overnight. It doesn't happen. It takes a while. It takes a while to figure things out. So if you don't have everything figured out already, join the club.
Yeah.
Let's pray. So let's take a nice little breath. I'm inviting you to take this moment to put your consciousness into your heart. Take it down out of your head and drop down into your heart. Feel that warmth. Feel that brilliant, deep, rich center where all is love, where all is grace, where all is understanding, where all is kindness, where all is forgiveness, all is grace. Take a moment to acknowledge yourself for all the things that you have learned. How far you have come, even in this one lifetime. And I invite you to look at the things that you find challenging at this point in your life as just opportunities to learn something else, to add to your list of accomplishments. And I just speak a word of blessing for all of us here, that we are right where we need to be, doing right what we need to be doing, that we are on a path of excellence. We are so excellently human. We are so perfectly human. And the Spirit of the All-Good is with us always. And we can always listen. We can always hear the words of wisdom and guidance. We can always know what is the best option. We can let mistakes pass us by. We can always do our best. And that's all we need to do. I bless the power of forgiveness. I bless the passage of time. I bless the wisdom and the goodness that we are, and know that all is well. And together we say, and say
Everybody awake now?
How could anyone ever tell you you
was just in tears. And I thought that it speaks to even what you're talking about. Like, nobody had really told me. So I was holding myself to some standard that was like, can I be that? Well, you already are that. Thank you so much. Good stuff. All right, now is our opportunity to fill out our prayer card if you haven't already done so. If you were inspired by anything in the message, if you were inspired by that song, affirm that for yourself. Affirm your excellence. Affirm your beauty. And lastly, we have our offering envelopes. Genesis is a center that is supported by God. And we invite you to be a way that God shows up by supporting Genesis with a financial gift. So if you'll take a moment to go ahead and do that. Thank you, Jill. And so while that's being done, we will sing our offering song together.
God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. God is my source, God is my power.
First time, welcome. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you come back. It's good to see familiar faces and those who have been away and returning. It's good. It's very good. Have a joy-filled week. We look forward to seeing you next Sunday. Let's sing our closing song.